running deep in events.
Yeah, he's actually one of our players with the most live experience / final table experience, I'd say. It seems like he's made a number of final tables in different countries and continents.
Here we have Robert Sherwood coming in with a raise to 160K from the cutoff. Robert is also very familiar to players who grind the UK circuit. According to our friend David Lappin, he is a 20-year regular playing live and online events.
Yeah, the first thing I saw when I looked at Ascendant Mob was a Paddy Poker Tour 4th place,
Nice.
I believe. So I was like, oh, Lappin might have a few things to say about the bloke.
The bloke. And here we have Tyler with ace-jack suited in the big blind. He's going to make the call.
Not the worst flop for him. Oh, sorry, I have the hands reversed, actually. Not the worst flop for Robert, who's opened the 9-10 with a spade. Tyler with enough to defend versus a continuation bet for sure. He's still getting his massive stack of chips set up over there.
I'm loving this. I love seeing big stacks at the table rather than them coloring them up too early, and they only have 5 chips at the table. It's more exciting this way.
They're so aggressive about color ups these days amongst different tours. Not so much at the World Poker Tour. I do really like seeing a lot of chips on the table.
Wow. He just turns it. Jack coming in on the turn. Robert making a straight.
Tyler picking up a little something. Perhaps enough hand to talk himself into a call of a second barrel. We'll see.
Tyler, one of our less experienced players, just according to his Hendon Mob. He might play some cash games that we're unaware of. But one fun fact is the last recorded score in a Hendon Mob is a cash in this same main event last year. So
wow, so he's a bit of a WPT finalist.
Final specialist.
Yeah, I like that.
191st last year. Maybe took the whole year off, came back. Now he's even deeper with at least 61st locked up.
He's even deeper in trouble here, too, because if he thought his jack might be good on the turn, he's now picked up 2 pairs. So
850.
Still losing to the hands he's expecting to lose to, but just gives you that little extra bit of confidence that your opponent didn't river some sort of 2 pair or something. When you have the ace in your hand. That said, when your opponent's fired 3 on a board that's this coordinated.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's loving it. He does make the call, though. Very nice start for Robert.
Wow, huge pickup for Robert.
Taking down a 3 million chip pot. That's how you want to start your day 4.
Absolutely, and relatively no sweat there for him. He just has the second nuts, fires a bunch of chips in the pot, gets paid off pretty quickly.
For most Americans, their memory of online poker is stuck in the past. A desert filled with unsafe options or no option at all. Well, not anymore. Club WPT Gold is bringing poker back to America. It's a sweepstakes model website sweeping the nation, and it's available to try out now. Sign up now using code YouTube and enjoy the return of safe online poker to America.
Yeah, you can also factor that in as well.
Never been to Asia.
For sure.
Mate, Asia is amazing.
Japan and Thailand.
He's rocking the Senna Japan hat.
Thailand is
If you guys haven't been to Senna Japan here in Las Vegas, it's a great little sushi spot.
Shout out to Senna Japan. Maybe the best value sushi in the entire city.
High expectation.
So
It was
good.
like it was just amazing.
Did you only go to Bangkok?
My friend just we just stayed in Bangkok.
Oh,
Pattaya is better.
So
no.
these
Oh,
little
wow,
tanks
so
are
No,
just
like all the
Darren's,
islands and like.
Yeah,
oh,
okay, yeah, I
it's
know,
actually
I know.
insane.
Darren's stalling tactics.
We're pretty lazy. So
Waiting for
we
the
just,
pay
like,
jump.
looked at elephants, tigers, and to the floating market.
It's massive, massive tourist fish, basically.
Yeah, the beaches are just next level.
I am a fish, man. What can I say? I gotta be a fish in something.
The Thailand.
Yeah, you got to go to Asia.
Yeah.
Got to go
I want
to
to
Asia.
go for like.
It's just so far from America, but
wanna
it's,
go
it's
for
so
a couple
worth it. Yeah. Don't go for 2
Is
weeks.
it LA
Michael
Bangkok
picking up
direct?
ace-8 offsuit, opening it in the cutoff, and Jeffrey looks down.
And also
Big
taking
flick.
like a
On the
poker
button.
festival as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
WPT of Cambodia.
They have
So,
them in December, January. Like
Yeah.
they just had a bunch in November and Taipei.
Yeah, it was it October? I think it was early October.
Yeah, we was off to Barcelona.
AP.
Wow.
In
Ooh.
Barcelona as well.
Yeah, we
Interesting spot for Makita here in the small blind with ace-queen suited.
I was probably hammered as well.
Very awkward for Makita. Late
I think I remember,
position.
yeah, I do remember. I
Three
remember.
bet versus late position open from perhaps the most aggressive and wide player at the table.
Street. Yeah. That's right.
Ace queen suited. And Jeffrey has one of those stack sizes where if Makita 4-bets, he kind of has to commit
Right.
the
He's
chips.
sitting on a little less than 50 bigs.
This could be
I was
disastrous for
sharing with them in
Makita.
Barca. Yeah, it was. I left early.
Would you, as Makita, have any interest in cold calling? Or is it just
a lot
super
of fun,
weird?
It's usually not a decision point that a player of his caliber utilizes. You're just
the best scheme.
entering the pot with
Those
such a
folks might
tight and strong range of hands that you play it exclusively as a 4-bet. Also,
Here he comes. 1 million. 1 million even, dealer.
I like that. Chopping those
five of my
hands into
friends are
two
like-
different categories, a
they're all
call
like-
or a
they've all gone
re-raise,
from
often
France.
makes the calling portion really obvious what you're
Yeah.
holding. It's usually that ace-queen suited, pocket nines, pocket
Tens.
tens type of
Yep.
thing.
And Jeffrey, I have to imagine, just wants to go all in with the stack size. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I think that's exactly what he's going to do.
Same sort of mentality. This is all late position.
By the way,
Action.
this is the third 3+ bet Makita's had against Jeffrey already
Yes.
today. He probably
Yes.
came in expecting something like this, and to see it happen,
But at some point, even if you look at the cards later, it does feel a little personal.
absolutely. and when you look down at the ace-king and they put in the 4-bet, it makes you a lot happier. to
Right.
Pile the chips in.
It's going to be a lot easier to play if you just get it in. So maybe that's something to think about when you're playing against somebody like Makita. Oh no, Makita.
Oh, he even said, "Oh my God."
Pain.
And the reason he looks so pained is because you're not supposed to 4-bet this hand to fold, I don't believe. But getting this deep in the tournament, expecting your opponents to play somewhat straightforward versus 4-bets, he really just feels like this is not a good call-off. And he's right. We know, well, we don't know if he's right. Maybe Jeffrey can just pile it in with the ace-5 suited, but you generally expect to be beat.
Huge portion of Makita's stack would be in the middle with this call off.
Nearly 50 blinds. I know that this is late position versus late position. I know that Jeffrey had 3-bet a very aggressive Michael Burke initially. I know Makita probably expects him to not believe him as much. And all that said, he just still isn't loving calling off.
Yeah. And he's already 3-bet Jeffrey specifically a few times.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey has had to fold. So you have all of these dynamics going on into your head. I mean, we can't fault him for either decision.
Yeah,
This
but when you
point-
feel it in your gut that you're not good, it's the worst kind of emotionally, it's the worst kind of mistake to make. To put the chips in when your gut is just screaming at you to fold.
Jeffrey remaining quite still, very stoic. Not a lot for Makita to pick up on.
No, I think Makita's past live tells at this point as well. He's just, I mean, he might pick something up off his opponent, but it'll be subtle, and he's more concerned with the fact that he just thinks his opponent never has.
Makes the call.
Yeah.
So we have ace-king up against ace-queen suited. Makita way behind here. This is a huge pot. 7.8 million chips in the middle.
And for those at home that are asking Makita what he's doing, he's getting a great price. His opponent could have worse, but also he's definitely flipping for some hands.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, no.
Tough to beat, Makita.
Wow.
see that.
Flush draw on the flop for Makita, increasing his outs
Anyone have a club?
to 12 total. Needs to see a green card or a queen.
Oh, my
Hey, good game,
goodness.
guys. Really fun playing,
Oh
y'all.
my,
Nice
gets
talking
it
to you.
right on the turn.
GG, boys.
Wow.
Good luck, everyone.
There is no justice in poker. Poor Jeffrey.
Brutal. Oh my gosh. Finally gets him right where he wants him. These guys are all having fun.
This is a great table.
I mean, you don't always see it. There's not always
didn't
this
see
natural
it.
chemistry at the
Couldn't
table
see it.
where people
Yeah.
are just having a good time and
What was the question? If he used a time bank?
If it flushed, if it can't flush.
taking their losses on the chin, making fun of themselves along the way. It's nice to see.
This is already more table talk than we see across an entire day.
Sometimes,
Of day
absolutely.
fours, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Fabian back in the mix with the 7-6 suited from the hijack.
Jonathan, what are we thinking about here, buddy?
This is
Jonty's going to do
not just
Jonty
holding the
things.
right side of the
Those are some
That's out.
dark thoughts he was having.
That's my
The 5
Tyler.
deuce suited in the small blind.
Tyler with the peel from the big blind. Ace queen offsuit. Heads up to the ace 5 4 2 spade
Oh,
flop.
wow. This is going to be this is,
This is huge.
I mean,
Are all the chips going to go in on the flop?
the fact that Tyler just peeled pre kind of leads me to think that there's a chance it doesn't. That said, I would not be surprised if we saw a check raise and then some form of 4-bet.
$7.75.
Each player was about 33 bigs to start the hand. There is the check raise, 775 total.
775,000.
Fabian could really go either way with it here. Obviously, if he thinks his opponent has some bluffs or has some check raises that end up tanking and
All in.
folding,
Oh, there it
something
is.
like ace jack,
All in.
yeah, then the all-in
Tyler's-
plays out really well. But he knows Tyler's been really snug, yeah.
Call. Okay, here it is. Two great hands on this flop.
Ouch.
And this is a massive flip. Look at Fabian's equity with 7 high, by the way. Unbelievable.
Oh, right away on the turn.
I got over 3 years.
And the flush just to boot. GG's
Thank
to
you.
Tyler.
Devastation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. Good game to Tyler Dickinson.
That way I'm
resides
playing the
in
old double game.
Massachusetts.
Remember that?
Yeah,
Does our
playing
chip
two
leader?
hands.
The Aria,
Playing two spots.
Aria,
Yeah.
they would play 2-5 and you
If you asked me to
have,
guess
like,
the
top
previous
three blocks,
residencies
one. There's
of
deal
a
there,
person wearing
they would deal
all
like two
Eagles
games
gear.
along.
No, I was talking about Christian.
Oh,
Who he was
okay.
in the pot with, yeah.
I was like Venezuela to Massachusetts.
No.
That's as far off of what I would have guessed.
Nope, that guy's probably solidly Philly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
We were up here for the last level last night. That shit wasn't working. They straight up had a hand watch.
Or he lost a bet.
Trying to.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
Michael with the spot here. He's got pocket
like a
fives.
2 feet had no
That kind
time
of stack
back,
that
so
you
he's
want to
like,
put it
how
in.
much
Yep,
time
he
do I have?
moves all in. Leaves a chip behind.
You
The
know,
modern day players are wanting to do.
sometimes you got to leave that chip behind. Find a little fold equity after the flop. Aaron with the slow peel. Really trying to eke out a hand
Taking
there.
his time.
Sometimes you look down at a jack and you want to sweat out that second jack, you know? Oh, no.
Andrew's going to look down at a better pair in the big blind.
Yeah. And if he were to find a call here, that would be a disaster for Michael. The one saving grace for Michael here is this is for most of Andrew's chips. So if anyone's feeling the pressure of this all-in, it's Andrew. If Andrew were to have 8s, 9s, he probably would have beat Michael in the pot. 7s he feels a little less comfortable with. Oof.
All in.
Okay.
So has finally put it in. That's bad news for Michael.
Michael is going to think for a little bit. They are on a direct money payout jump here. The next player to bust gets 85K. And player who gets 39th gets 101,000.
Yeah, they might have to call the clock on Michael here.
He's going to use all those time banks, I imagine. And that's the exact reason he leaves one chip behind.
Oh, I forgot. We have the time banks in play. No clocks need to be called. You always feel bad calling the clock on a player in this situation. You have to do it, but...
Still thought about it.
Andrew says at least you thought about it.
Try to get a soul read, you know, for that 25K. It's a big decision. Big decision.
Spin it up.
Big decision.
I'm feeling good about this one.
You know what's funny? The equities that these players have are very representative of the equities if their teams played each other right now.
I'm going to go through every time bank, hoping that somebody busts on the outer tables. It's a dynamic specific to tournaments
That could be one of
where
two
just
ways.
waiting makes you money.
You could have the overs or...
It's a lot of real life
I was told
dollars.
not to talk about my hand anymore. I was pretty good.
16K.
I mean, it's a big decision for 25K. I know. I mean,
It's insane. I'm trying to get a read. trying to see how many I should even use.
Yeah, it's always a battle between...
If you actually do double up, you need at least a time bank.
Yeah, you'd like to have some of those time banks. And also, this is a very slow-paced tournament, so the likelihood of somebody busting in the next 3 minutes a lot lower
Right.
than in
Got him in a
tournaments
blender
where
for
you have
25K.
faster blind levels, so stacks are shorter on average, more people are busting.
I can't use it anymore. I didn't decide not to use. I was gonna use them, but I decided not to.
Yeah, I mean, you're not.
I knew you were gonna use them. Yeah, but I mean, still, like, it's. What if I don't win this hand? It's gonna just use them later.
Well, fortunately, Andrew, if you don't win this hand, you still have other
Shame
spots to
making
use your
some
time
two or
chips.
There's shame, actually. There's a lot of shame.
This always stakes for the player that's like at the feature table, just having to stall.
Probably keep three.
They know it's
Yeah.
not fun for the viewers, but it is part of the game.
Thank you.
But this is why I like time chips so much. This is another great reason for
Right.
them.
Because the maximum you can wait is however many time chips he has. That's
Well, down
it.
there, you
Yeah, and now you're giving up a resource. So it's like, if you want to burn them in this manner, fair enough. No one's going to fault you for it. Like,
Right.
normally, if you're stalling, they're just going to fault you because you're just sort of
How many
wasting your
time banks do you
time.
have?
Right.
It's like, you have this resource, and if you want to use it
time
for this
bank
purpose,
battle.
great.
All right. That's going to be my last one.
Okay.
keep
He
four.
decides to keep 2 back.
Does he have more time for that? Was the last one you put in?
Yeah, I put them on.
Another 30? Yes, 35. So.
Fives.
Okay.
Oh, shit, I got it.
He finally puts it in. Pocket 5s versus pocket 7s. Michael is the one at risk.
A chop hop voice, huh?
Ace, ace, queen, ace, ace, queen, queen, jack.
What about ace, ace, queen, queen, 8? For the fun shop.
I'm not
Fives
sure.
are
You
all.
should probably put the all-in button on me.
Yeah.
Some back doors.
4.
How about 7 on the flop and then 4 10s in a row?
A DP until the end.
Oof.
It's a DP, always a DP. can't yell. I can't yell. Now.
This has now become torture for Michael.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do anything.
Oh,
Good game, Mike.
One pip away.
right suit and everything as well.
And that'll do it for Michael Rosito. I believe finishing in 40th place for $85,000.
The newest online poker site, Club WPT Gold, is available to try now. And coming soon, Club WPT Gold ambassadors will be hosting meetup games. Brad Owen, Rampage, Xuan Lu, and Wolfgang Poker will all be there. Sign up using any one of their codes, and you'll be able to play alongside them as you check out the newest poker site, sweeping the nation. Join us coming soon for Club WPT Gold meetup games.
Suited
He's a
hand.
better player in position. He had a worse player out of position. Player is me.
Yeah. I feel like before that, Mormon, before EWW won every pot.
Stu mentioning that Chris Moorman is still in the field. Can confirm. Pretty epic. If he did back-to-back final tables in this same event.
That would be sick.
250.
Then I can tell people I once attended that guy's Halloween party. Some other names still in the field. Oh, Baldy out, unfortunately. Very strong player. Wow, flop straight for Glenn here. Top pair for Andrew. Fortunately for Andrew, the monotone board will cause him to be a lot more careful than he would have been on any other texture. Probably still coming with a C-bet.
175.
Keeps it really small. I like this. Glenn with an interesting decision point here. He could raise for value.
I always find monotone boards in these spots very awkward.
Yeah, you have to be a lot more careful than you would initially think. And look at this. Glenn does just call. Case in point. Diamond on the turn probably going to ruin our ability to see much action.
Although you never know. With our Eagles fan on the button.
You certainly never know. That said, he has just enough hand to be very happy to get the showdown. Well, 4 on the river. Ace-7 starts to shrivel up a little bit. Not beating much now. You're beating some random King-3 of spades type of hands, but those might decide to bluff themselves. Yeah, he just checks back
you
immediately.
flopped it. Wow. You're supposed to flop clubs. That's great. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, he would love to have that 6 to 8 million in chips.
He would also love to get that 25K pay jump that would have come with knocking Jeremy out just
Sure.
then.
All nice things.
All nice things.
Christopher Mormon, here we go, raising the queen deuce suited in the cutoff. Orange Juice Glenn going to let the 7-5 suited go in the small blind. Andrew with 2 10s in the big. And it's such a late position raise from Chris. We have to imagine Andrew's going upstairs. No, he just calls. And he might pay for it here. Mormon finding top pair right away. C-bet would get a lot of value.
Did AJ think he just had a weird stack size to 3-bet from the big? Or...
Probably, but
But it's Chris Mormon.
you have to know that Chris is opening quite wide out of the cutoff. And,
Right.
If you're uncomfortable playing post, I think this hand could just go all in quite happily as well. Oh, it just gets better for Mormon.
And actually, that's going to make AJ feel a little more comfortable, don't you think?
Absolutely. Part of this turn card being so nice for Chris is that it's an easy one to bet now, but the other part of it is that a number of hands that Andrew could have, something like 8-10, Jack-9, pocket 10s, those are all much happier paying off another barrel.
$850.
The thing with these wide and aggressive openers like Mormon is, if you want to punish them, you have to do so in the form of always putting as much pressure on them pre-flop as possible. That's why I'm such a strong advocate for the 3-bet with pocket 10s. Now, never terrible to play careful this deep in the tournament. Oh, this is such a bad run out for Andrew. He could conceivably pay off another bet, thinking that Chris is just a queen or a bluff. Tough to imagine Chris finding enough bluffs on this particular run out. So easy for his opponent to just have a queen, right?
So in that case, what sizing are you looking to go if you're Chris here?
I think I would keep it fairly in line, something around 60%. Maybe no larger than 70%. But the thing is you expect your opponent to... Yeah, this looks quite close to 60%.
Yep.
You also expect your opponent to have a tough time folding a 9, given the run out.
Played this hand kind of weird.
You certainly did. If Andrew were to find a fold here, it would be a very solid fold. Uh-oh. He is reaching. Andrew has generally been pretty good about sniffing out the right decision in these river spots. We did see him pay off with the Jack-10 earlier today, but it was a pretty forgivable payoff, all things considered. This one, a little easier to imagine your opponent doesn't have enough bluffs. Once you've called twice, he does pay it off. Chris just getting all the value. So sick.
Very nice.
And he sees the queen deuce too, which is going to be very tilting.
Right.
That
So
you
just-
didn't aggress versus such a wide range out of the cup.
Not even a sweat.
you
Just
see?
all hearts in the middle.
All right, that's fair.
Oh, here we go. Tanipout all in.
Oh, God.
Tanipout choosing not to burn his time banks, hoping that two players are eliminated. I think that's very...
Reasonable.
At first,
Yeah,
I
very
thought you had
wise.
ace queen. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's true. That's
It's up
true.
against
That's
ace king.
true. I was hoping you had ace queen. At least.
The ace king of Ryan Yu,
Full ace queen pair.
who has had an incredible level. What a spin up for him. Jack 6-3, all clubs. Not
Still-
great for
though.
Tanipout to
Fair.
see.
Still
Put a
flipping.
9 out there.
Yeah.
Put a 9.
The turn is a king.
Wow. Not flipping anymore.
That's pretty deflating. The river seals the deal, and we lose another one. Tanipout out in 18th.
We are now one player away from being down to 2 tables in this
Wow.
tournament.
For most Americans, their memory of online poker is stuck in the past. A desert filled with unsafe options or no option at all. Well, not anymore. Club WPT Gold is bringing poker back to America. It's a sweepstakes model website, sweeping the nation, and it's available to try out now. Sign up now using code YouTube and enjoy the return of safe online poker to America.
I'm trying to think of what's...
Chocolate cheeses.
He wasn't folding. He was not folding. You could have bet 7.5 million. He wouldn't have folded.
There was definitely rivers I would fold, but not that one.
Someone's asking
It
for
was bad
sage
river for me.
wisdom
Yeah.
from me. Leo, I'm sorry, I don't know if that's why I've been hired today.
That must be tongue-in-cheek.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
More
Don't
with
take it out on
pocket
me,
queens
Chris.
and the hijack.
The different life though. He bets
600?
4.8 million, just has ace jack, and he just gets paid.
Yeah.
Oh, it's younger Mormon.
Yeah.
Oh, this is trouble. Son with jacks in the cutoff.
Just flats.
Just a call.
Wow.
Oh,
Did not
interesting.
expect this.
Andrea opens the door for him to squeeze if you'd like. He's got a beautiful hand to squeeze with ace-5 suited.
I wonder what
Everyone's
he's making of that
favourite.
flat. That flat from San is a little bit suspicious. It has juiced the pot up to a sort of amount where this ace-5 suited going all the way in is tempting now.
I would like it. I'm looking at 2 really nice hands that aren't going to fold, but I like this spot for a squeeze. Mormon's going to be opening very loose. If you think Sen's the type that's just like, hey, I want to see 3.
Yeah, it has that sort of king-queen kind of vibe to it.
Sure.
Definitely didn't expect something as strong as Jack's here. Is there somehow a pathway to San getting away here?
Andrea with the nice fold. I think that would have been my last hand of the tournament.
Oh, the ace-5 suited gets there. a bit.
I think.
That's why we like it so much.
But they only sell it in teeny tiny bottles.
No, they have it. They have it.
Oh, dear.
7, 5, 4, 2 spades. This is not the kind of board that Jax finds a fold on.
Yeah, I gotta say, Italy.
Yeah, one has to put themselves into the mindset of San here, choosing to go with flat off that 22 big blind stack, probably just deciding I want to fade an ace or king high
Sure.
flop, and now probably will feel much better about it. Stack to pot ratio is only 3 here. It's very hard to imagine a way out.
Very passionate, yeah.
Mormon C-bet 725.
Vito?
Vito,
Vito.
the player.
Yeah, Italian guy. You know, he's a friend of yours.
We saw that raise earlier with the king queen. He is going to send it upstairs here, and this is probably curtains now for San.
So many
I don't
nice
see
Italian
Chris
guys,
doing anything other. Do you know what he might be just thinking? Do I call and let him put the rest in himself, or do I just stick it in now? I think he's just going to stick it in now, recognizing that San has a hand he likes.
Sure. Yeah, San can definitely have hands like 8s and 9s also that love this board that go, okay, I have a lot of equity. And those hands often face a big card on the turn and no longer like their hand. So yeah, he just puts it all in.
Gets the bad news. We expected this one to go in pre. It has gone in on this 7-5-4 board. Backdoor spade possibility for San, but it is looking a little bleak right now.
6 of spades. Spicy one.
King of clubs. It's going to be a jack and only a jack for San. It's 8 of spades. Really great story for San, though. Wins his golden passport at the lodge. Comes out here, plays the free roll, cashes it, plucks a 10K out of the consolation drum, finds himself in this spot here. Just an incredible story.
know, a lot of people at the lodge were tweeting at him, good luck today,
Balls.
representing all of Austin, Texas.
Being this
Foreman
good,
one.
being
This
this
is
good
what
at poker
poker
and
got.
actually running.
Here's 8 million.
Yeah.
175,000? Is that what we're sending him
Oh,
home with? That's not too
I wouldn't
shabby
call it
off of
basketball.
$0.
That's how I see it, actually. To be here today.
How left out
with
do you
Chris
feel if you're at the
Norman,
outer table just hearing all the laughter and
that's about
fun?
it, yeah. That's like this is coaching session
I
coming.
want to play.
It's a quick way for Chris to make $1 million. He can save that later for
Right.
life if he needs it.
Yeah, the Mormon song.
It's the Mormon
You
song.
ever play with
People,
such
everyone
a-
will pay.
Deacon name?
Easy.
I mean,
Yeah.
you get to learn and make 200K. I mean,
Well,
what more
Chris
could you
gonna-
possibly want?
I mean, yeah.
You learn
Kick
and
this
make,
one off
make
here.
Money, yeah.
You're not even paying. You
Don't
should be
see
paying.
Yeah, this
Andre
is-
getting an easy decision today, to be honest.
Nope. 12 bigs. This is, I think it's just too good. And you're facing Mormon, who's going to be opening very wide on a large stack. Yeah, he's
well done, sir.
gets it in.
Yeah, if it's anyone else under the gun, I think you suddenly
3.7,
hate life.
Feel a
But
lot
actually,
more,
with
yeah.
Chris, you're just
Oh
like,
no.
oh wow, oh wow.
This isn't easy either. You have jacks, but it was under the gun opens, under the gun one jams. 12. It's just too good to fold, right?
Good job over there.
This is also getting in. I'm not sure if he can flat and fold to a Chris jam, or is that just putting too much in and making it too awkward? Maybe it just goes in. Chris is going to be opening so wide. Same rules
Sure.
apply to his situation here. In fact, Chris is now going to have to fold a hand like ace queen if he shoves. So
Yeah.
I think every reason to maybe just put this in. I'm not sure he has enough to call fold. And I don't know if you even want to call fold. Oh, we are going to jump out there. Well, we're
jeez.
keen to get back to the other hand in a moment. But just to let you know, it's ace-jack against sevens, Lendle against pack. And it looks like the sevens are going to do a hold. They do, in fact. Double up there for Lendle. Pack, again, going in the wrong direction.
7-5.
Get us back to that
I know.
feature.
It's like, I want to see.
Yeah,
And
he
it
did
does
just
get
jam
all
in the
in.
end. Makes
it'll be like a
sense.
2, 3,
Ansi,
4,
I think,
5.
falling on the correct decision in the end. Does have a dominating spot over poor old
There's
Andre.
the 6.
Wow.
Of course. Ace 6 deuce, 2 clubs.
This open ripped.
Andrea with backdoor clubs, 2 9s. His only outs. Now just a 9 will do it.
Make 10s and 6s.
It's not to be.
Thank you.
Nice run, Andrea.
The K6.
A frustrating little cameo for Andrea on this feature table here today.
Good game, man.
Busting in 15th. What an incredible run again. All of these players wading through a field of, remember, 2,392 entrants.
Yeah, Scott Stewart, no stranger to these spots. He has a $500,000 score in the main event. 13th place, 2017.
Cheese on it, huh?
Why
He's got quite a
Little
few
cheese.
six-figure scores.
That you fold.
8-5.
But honestly, I know him from him
8-5
dominating mid-stakes poker. Like, he stays in his lane a lot and just absolutely crushes these, like, 1K, 2K tournaments.
Just being able to fall back on that kind of experience in a spot such as this one is huge. We've got guys like Jonty in there. Obviously, he's made final tables. In fact, he has won a tournament this year on the WPT circuit. But this is another tier. And if you've been there, done that on a few occasions, had a $500,000 score, like you said, or whatever, you really can lean into that experience in a way that maybe others who haven't been there can't.
It's also what makes it easy to be loose in this spot with, like, okay, I'm just conversing.
Yeah.
You know, you tend to be able to, like, play your game because you just don't feel the pressure that
4.275.
first-timers will feel.
Oh, and this will be a close one for Jonty here. 11 bigs, not even 11 bigs. 10.5, I think we're calling. Yeah, here we go.
Says not close, slams it in.
My own name?
So we're racing. AJ Kelsall at risk, pocket 9s against Jonty's ace-jack offsuit.
Wayne Gretzky?
Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, there you go.
Jonty wins this,
Good
he
old
becomes chip
Ontario
leader
kid.
in this
Yeah.
tournament right now.
He hasn't lost,
Andrew wins this one, and he is
have.
back in business with
Wayne
around about
Gretzky
10
is
million.
From
He's not gonna
the
beat me with my own
town
name.
Where I first
Oh.
ever played like poker.
Yeah, but
in
If he had ace
I got
queen,
heart.
if he had ace queen, I would think he could do it.
Brantford, Ontario.
Ace jack's not getting there.
Ace of hearts is
AJ claiming that the
So
AJ has never betrayed him.
Check 9 flop.
Can we not make it a bit more exciting than that? Can we have like Queen 10-8 or something?
Ooh.
That's a
That's a
fair.
pretty
Oh, that's
fair
a
fight.
fine
Jack
action,
10
but it's like still
7.
a flip.
I actually
All
don't- I
diamonds.
don't like.
Andrew
you
with the
can
gut
just
shot
turn it
and the flush draw to
Right.
go with his
Still
pocket
flippish.
nines. Jonty, top pair. It's red, but not a
It
diamond.
has to be. It has to be a
Eight of
hard.
diamonds, come on.
It had-
Big moment.
Good game, guys.
Unlucky,
And
well
that's
played.
going to be it. Queen of spades on the river. AJ Kelso, really nice run.
Thank you.
Told you,
What a
Sean.
gentleman. What a lovely, lovely person to have
You know how
on
many
the
lucky
feature
people
table
I let buy
on
one
a few
stuff?
occasions over the last few days.
I'm going to treat chat like it's a teleprompter and just
And then
read all of it.
I was trying to get him to make me
dear.
famous. He was already famous. I was trying to get famous.
Do you know what you should have done? Written a book.
No, somehow I'd lose money if I wrote a book. Find a way.
It's just words, no?
No,
Hi to Angela
they would
Jordison.
charge me for how bad it'd be.
Just tuning in.
Angela provided one of my favorite stories from the $5 million free roll by Club WPT Gold. Her daughter won a seat, and she won a seat.
It's all full circle.
And
Chris Savage
she was
there.
coaching her daughter who knows nothing about poker, and some of the quotes that came out of her were so much fun. Like she just
What a
said,
weird fad that was with
my
mannequin
opponent
sound.
made a flush somehow with only one card. like she was gonna get like a floor ruling. Like, can you do this?
This doesn't seem right.
And that's how she busted. But also she said, I thought that straights and flush were a tie. The people who got to play poker for the first time in that free roll, there's just so many good stories. People had so much fun.
You have to explain to the listeners what her nickname was at the table as well.
Oh yeah, is it on me? They said she said it so often that they just started calling her, hey, is it on me? It's on you. Queen 5 deuce 2 clubs, a little piece for each. Jonty with top pair, backdoor straight draws. And Z with second pair and backdoor straight draws. It's Anzi who bets out when it's checked him, 400K. Jonty's going to make the call. I'm not good at reading the chat and then coming back to a hand. I think I need to not read the chat. So you guys, if you just will directly tweet at me, I'll read the meanest things later. Get 'em.
I remember when Jamie Kerstetter could make up her own mean lines.
Oh, I'm holding back. Jack of spades on the turn. Jonty checks his top pair over to Anzi, trying to draw out another bluff. Anzi with enough of a hand to check back, try to show down. Deuce pairs the board. Jonty with the decision to either bet his own hand or to check over to Anzi and hope that Anzi has missed draws he needs to bluff.
Yeah, both seem like good options, to be honest.
Sure.
And looks like he's fallen on the right one in game here, because he was going to have to do his own dirty work to get more chips into this pot. Poor old Anzi being put in the blender again. Yeah,
Very nice by Jonty.
pays him off. Jonty Willis just finding it right now. All the vibes. Doesn't seem to ever lose a pot right now
For real.
either. Just one direction.
Just thinking about if Jonty were to take this down, we might need to chaperone him out, make sure he doesn't die. Jonty with $3 million in Vegas, dangerous.
Yeah, I might stay here over Christmas if he takes this one down.
My friends were giving me shit for wearing a Dodgers cap on stream.
Nah, you're just a Dodger fan.
I'm not.
I know you're not. I left the Blue Jays hat at home.
I can't wear that anymore. It's too embarrassing. The Jays are just.
I I'm born and raised in Southern California, so I'm a Dodger fan. And people are like, "Oh, you're on the bandwagon?" I was like, "I was born there." What do you mean?
Yeah, no, I'm not a Dodgers fan. It's just a cool looking hat.
Always on the winning team
I
with the
wouldn't wear the
bud cap.
blue one though.
I love it, King of
I feel like
Beers.
that's,
They should
like,
sponsor
kind of
him
a
for this
more of a
final.
local
Makes
thing.
the final table.
But like,
Jonty been raising ace queen off.
Dear me, I
Oh
think
man,
this is trouble.
unlucky.
I think this is trouble.
It should be 22 bigs. He should be happy to be 3-bet ripping this in Jonty's face, and he's up against it right now.
Oh, what a rough passage of play for Ansi. In it goes. He's effectively commit here. Jonty going nowhere, we know. Bang. Now we've just called, so.
You want to do some recon?
Or did he have enough? No, he has actually put him in. I think that's like a 20 stack. Yeah, okay. So these time banks will get burned.
Yeah, you guys, if you want to chat with us, now's the time.
Yeah, I think we got about
few minutes.
6 minutes. Of,
well, I will say, last year, one of the funnier things that happened at a feature table, a guy was.
Oh,
he just does it. Okay.
Well, I don't think we saw a bust out on the other. Maybe just deciding he'd like to have some time if things go well. Keep
Sure.
these time banks for later.
So
Big
here
moment
we
for
have
Jonty
it.
Willis as well to get up to 42 million. But Ansi, the man whose tournament life is on the line right now, just 25% here. Pretty much the worst case scenario up against the ace queen.
King.
Oh, in the window.
Wow, sick. King, king, 10. Just like that, Ansi pulls way ahead. Jonty is not dead yet. 4 jacks in the deck.
Oh, that is a body blow
really brutal.
to Jonty here. Ansi gets the double up. He's now up
Sorry.
to 10 million.
I wouldn't have said
But
anything.
that has
but he
taken
started-
most of the
he
progress, a
grinned
big
when he
chunk
saw
out
the
of
ace.
Jonty's day.
The newest online poker site, Club WPT Gold, is available to try now. And coming soon, Club WPT Gold ambassadors will be hosting meetup games. Brad Owen, Rampage, Xuan Lu, and Wolf Game Poker will all be there. Sign up using any one of their codes, and you'll be able to play alongside them as you check out the newest poker site sweeping the nation. Join us coming soon for Club WPT Gold meetup games.
Four is hitting the muck under the gun at this 9-handed final table. Got to tighten up. That's actually something that I find is a little difficult when you've been playing short-handed for several hours, and then all of a sudden you have a full table. You're like, oh man, I'm going to be folding a lot. Got to sit out and watch some action. Ansi with pocket jacks on the button.
They actually have a store here.
What an hour of poker it's been for Ansi, who
Oh yeah,
was looking
almost
like
out
out
the
the
door.
door in, was it 10th place?
Yeah, it's one more.
And now he's a contender.
Yep. Earlier, Ansi got it in with King Queen versus Jonty's Ace Queen. Managed to win that one, and then it's been smooth sailing.
Casual flick in of one chip there from Chris with the 8s. He's going to go to war with Ansi's button range here. Fortunately for him, he's rather high up that range.
Guys packing up clothes? Nope.
Ace 5 deuce, 2 spades.
I'm staying with a
Ansi
friend. He's
with
gotta
the
wash
jack
her
of
dryer.
spades.
I already had to do laundry.
You?
And in these sort of situations previously, we have seen Ansi fire out a small sort of range c-bet. May well do the same thing here with the jacks, although he will be trying to ascertain how much of Chris's flatting range there in the small blind will contain some ace-x, will contain some Broadway stuff, maybe have some pocket pairs. Harder to target those pocket pairs when the ace is on board. Exciting to check it back here, and Chris wondering now why maybe the c-bet didn't come on the flop. Going to test the water.
That's 1/3 pot.
It's funny in these spots when it's button small blinds, almost like the small blinds range is just as strong, if not stronger, than the opening range. And
Sure. 9 of diamonds completes the board. Jacks are good. Jacks to Nancy.
yeah, unlikely to find a value bet here, but maybe. Not quite sure what he would be targeting.
Jackson takes it.
Sigh of relief there for Ansi. Very hard to know what you would be looking for value from in that situation, and I think probably the correct move there to check back.
I'm playing for 2-3 million. I'm bored.
No, it's just another.
Chris was playing an online tournament yesterday as
life.
well.
Wait.
Yeah.
On day 4?
Yeah.
What? Excuse me?
Yeah, this happened.
For his sponsor. Maybe he had to.
Perhaps.
It's possible.
I'm not aware of the website or whatever was going on, but he definitely was playing and was told at the break, you're going on feature table, you can't bring your phone with you.
Oh, no.
And he just happened to bust out at the break, so there was no tilt from that.
I was like, no way. Yeah.
Yeah, it
It was 5-0 for first last year.
It was 40 mil guaranteed.
Because sometimes playing for 3.1 million isn't enough action.
For people who are used to playing online, who are always multi-tabling, it can feel really slow to play one live table. I understand getting on your phone and firing something up. Keep yourself out of trouble, you know?
Yeah. Well, possibly not keeping himself out of trouble here is
Oh, interesting.
Rob Sherwood, who's opened the 8s and basically been pounced upon by Ansi, who recognises the ICM misery that Rob is in. He's very much got the handcuffs on right now. He's tied to the bed, and Ansi's just able to pummel.
Gross. So, Robert's our shortest stack, correct?
Yeah, Rob is the shorty, so I guess in that respect, less ICM on him, but still, when there's stacks similar around you, you know, getting that 1 ladder, 2 ladders, maybe. We saw Steiner do it the other night. So important. Robert just working through how often Ansi's doing this with a smaller pocket pair. That's the really important part of this conundrum. If it is with all of them, or with maybe 4s plus, this does start to become a little more tempting, but it's not a comfortable spot.
You guys are all here for your friends. My friends had a $35 food comp at Palms.
Cool.
Makes the call.
He makes his stand here. Huge moment. Rob Sherwood just deciding if he's going to get his engines going, he maybe needs to take this spot. This one will be mulled over. Either way, I feel. A big turning point, perhaps, in the fortunes of Rob Sherwood here on this final table.
How many time banks did you need?
He's 7-6, 2 spades and a heart. So far, so good for Robert to survive this. 4 spades, excellent card. Taking some more outs out of Anzi's holdings. Queen 10 of spades no longer good. And that's a nice double up for Robert. Really gutsy call.
And I don't know if you caught that comment from Robert just as it was coming out. Rob said, biggest river of my life.
Wow, I mean, huge.
For most Americans, their memory of online poker is stuck in the past. A desert filled with unsafe options or no option at all. Well, not anymore. Club WPT Gold is bringing poker back to America. It's a sweepstakes model website sweeping the nation, and it's available to try out now. Sign up now using code YouTube and enjoy the return of safe online poker to America.
Well, it's a draw to the bottom end. It's not dominating in any situation. And if you are up against a pair, you're also in trouble. No fold equity on the shove. Just didn't feel right to me.
Similar to the hand versus Jonty, where he just decided to gamble it up.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not getting the best of it here, but I'm trying to just win this pot. And it didn't seem very calculated. It seemed like a gamble.
Yeah, I think for small amounts, he just is willing to give these guys a spin.
Sure, I mean,
Oh my goodness, here we go. This could be the end, Jamie.
Big matchup. King 9. The short stack versus Scott Stewart's pocket queens.
You didn't have to be that strong to call, right? Would you have called jacks?
I don't know. I think queen first. I was thinking like
60?
Queen 10.
Yeah, he's got like 61.
Okay, well, Kylo with 28% here, but 71% of the time this day is over.
Jack 5 deuce rainbow. No help from you, Kylo.
Queen. 10's better.
7 of spades total brick. It's going to be a king and only a king. I mean, Kylo is going to be our 7th place finisher. It's a 7, and that'll do it.
He came in as the short stack to this final table. He managed a couple of double ups and a couple of ladders, crucially here, to finish 7th. But Kylo Lendle is going to exit here, bubbling the official final table. Spare a thought as well for Jonty Willis and, of course, Anzi Schmad, who really did entertain us all through the day.
Taking a look at Eddie Pack. Came in today as the chip leader, 66.2 million, 31-year-old from LA. He had his biggest tourney cash this year, WSOP main for 200K, and then following it up with this. Like, what a sick end of the year for him.
Yeah, probably felt. Oh, before I go on, this is quite the hand matchup.
Yeah, Scott waking up with aces in the hijack. Christian in the cutoff, ace queen of spades.
And what makes it really tough for Christian is that he expects Scott to be opening a ton. Maybe a little less so because it's Mormon's big blind. Mormon is another one of the chip leaders. But yeah, he's going to fire in that 4-bet immediately,
like
or 3-bet.
20, yeah, 23 in a bit.
Scott plays so quickly. I really appreciate the rare moments where he takes a moment or an extra second or two with his hand, because sometimes it's not that easy. If you had a bluff, you need time to figure it out.
Oh,
Wow,
he
just
jams.
jammed.
Wow, and a call.
Oh, no.
Unreal. Fireworks right away. Scott's ace is in great shape, 87% against Christian's ace queen of spades. And this will be the end of Christian 87% of the time.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Take the seats. Hold on.
Get that ready. Yeah, get that ready.
Christian has ace queen suited and Scott has aces. Scott's
What
covering.
did I tell you about ace queen?
Yeah.
I can't believe we have this much action already.
So fast.
Nice.
Oh, no.
6-5 deuce, 2 spades. Unbelievable.
To see a queen or a 4.
Let me tell you about
red
ace
3.
queen.
I'll take red 3.
Red 3's fair.
TV, obviously.
37% now out
it's
of
totally
nowhere.
rigged. It is 23 too.
Oh, wow. Telling Scott how much he's going to owe.
I'll let you know that.
6 of diamonds.
No chop.
Jamie, have you ever prayed for a red card as hard as Scott Stewart
I don't know.
is probably praying right now?
This is such a sweat.
Bad
Sick man.
information card.
This pot, well,
Yeah, he would
worth
like
well
he'll-
over $1
he'll
million.
take that
I
For
as a
would
sure.
imagine.
Definitely.
I'm sorry.
Queen of diamonds. Wow, Scott can finally breathe. Christian will be our 6th place finisher with $665,000. His largest cash by about $400,000. Can't be too sad about that.
Nice hand, brother. Great play.
Absolutely not. That's more than first place in nearly every tournament he'll play for the next year.
The newest online poker site, Club WPT Gold, is available to try now. And coming soon, Club WPT Gold ambassadors will be hosting meetup games. Brad Owen, Rampage, Xuan Lu, and Wolf Game Poker will all be there. Sign up using any one of their codes, and you'll be able to play alongside them as you check out the newest poker site sweeping the nation. Join us coming soon for Club WPT Gold meetup games.
Scott Stewart having a heck of a series. He was day 3 of the Prime and playing the $5 million Club WPT Gold free roll. So he's running back and forth through those. Obviously, he was deep in Prime, cashed for quite a bit, and also cashed the free roll.
Probably a little disappointed that he didn't go deeper in one of them. Now he finds
He
himself
was,
You know what?
he was
Five-handed.
sad for like 3 days before he final table of the best tournament of the year.
absolute animal.
Makes you happy?
Pants get a little tight now.
Hey, be careful now. We're on TV.
We've been on TV for days.
1.6.
No, but TV.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Mormon, 8-7 of diamonds in the cutoff, raising it up.
Yeah, good
Oh,
stuff.
Ryan, you pocket nines.
I feel like that's what goes on in your head when you see a good hand. Ooh.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're talking about. My head
Yes.
specifically, right? Yeah. It's not a lot of mystery in there, Jamie. It's about what you'd think.
So Ryan starts the hand with 25 big blinds. How do you play nines against Mormon's Open?
He 3-bet out of the
I think that this is pretty close. He's going to expect Mormon to open a
Jams.
ton, depending on who's in the big blind. We know Robert's in the small blind. Oh, he's opening into Edward's big blind.
Oh, baby. Wow.
Oh, no.
25 big blinds gets jammed in, and Edward,
Oh, my goodness.
our chip leader in the big blind with ace-king.
Edward unlikely to be going anywhere.
Do you think this dealer just has like dinner plans or something?
Maybe the... Or is she hand shuffling? I was going to say, maybe the shuffler has dinner plans.
Let me know when I have 5 seconds. 20.6 million.
Assuming the decision right now is whether to jam all in or just flat.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And I would personally go with a flat. I think
But wow, 4 bets to 40 million.
Well,
they're
we're
very
winning.
similar options in reality.
Ace King covers.
No, not me, not me.
Ace King covers.
Ace King versus big stack, nine short.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
It's a race between
Ace seven
Edward
diamonds
Peck's
for me.
ace
First
king and Ryan's nines.
8-7 of diamonds.
I mean, I was like ace king suited again.
Nines are at risk.
Yeah, sure.
No, I just wanted to win, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Did you have one, Chris? Did you have one of those?
I won't say.
Okay.
Good man.
Chris keeping it tight to the vest only in this specific situation. Giving them plenty of information after last
I
hand.
got the page up.
Surprised you had nines. I thought you were just shoving in there.
You're ahead, bro. What do you mean? You're ahead. Yeah, I'm trying dead here.
Are you trying to moan it in?
Where's your back? Put on your backpack.
Put on the
This could be the
backpack.
quickest final table in WPT history, maybe. Let's see. Take the glasses off. Oh my god.
TV tables, they make them sweat it out. It's
Brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, right in the window. Ace, king, jack. Edward way ahead. Ryan's going to need to catch one of his 2 9s.
It does feel a little bit like Ryan willed this one out. He said, I'm drawing dead. He looks so sure of it.
Yeah. Well, he picked up 210K for his efforts. And that's
Oh
it.
my God.
Ace is full for Edward, and that's going to be it for Ryan, our 5th place finisher. Ryan, you $875,000.
He was actually drawing dead, Jamie. Oh, king on the river, why not? Unbelievable. And I said not 2 hands ago, I think, that I was glad that he was sticking around. I'd like to see some play from him, and unfortunately.
Just like that, we've got 4 millionaires, $1.15 million.
I love him.
Is the next payout.
I think we all 1.6.
All right, back to the action. Chris picking up pocket 6s here. Oh, and Robert with queens.
I gotta say, Robert made a gutsy call off yesterday with 8s versus queen 10 suited, won the flip, and has had just like smooth sailing ever since.
Yeah, it
He's
was
chilling and printing money. I think the payout at that point was 400K maybe, maybe even less than that, and he's now up at 1.15 million just from a gutsy call.
It was
amazing.
Before anyone was eliminated at the final table, right?
I think so, yeah.
It was probably something like 250
maybe?
he was locked up. I'd have to see the payouts, but it was before 9th place got eliminated. I don't know if 9th was different from 10th, though. I think they might have been the same. Anyways.
David, Donnie, I know you guys are
This is
doing
an awkward spot for Chris
supposed to
Moorman.
happen. 2 people in 6 minutes.
Scott Stewart.
All in.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Let me recheck. Let me recheck. What's going in?
Yeah, it's going in there.
Whoa.
Oh no.
It's been a crazy final table so far.
Queens.
I
I've got
mean-
queens. Chris has got 6s.
Him.
If Chris finds a 6 here,
Mormon has 6s. Queens.
Yeah, it is Robert
Mormon has
Everest.
6s.
Pocket queens
Guys
versus
got
Chris
queens.
Norman's pocket sixes. Robert in great shape for a double up.
Anna, come on. You can't lose.
Just telling you how
You
he
can't
runs.
lose another player
How this
straight
tournament's
away.
been
That would be
going.
ridiculous.
That was dust.
They can't go 3-handed this fast, surely.
22. 22.
And diamonds are live for Mormon, so you guys know.
22, 23, something like that.
Mormon say that was dust. I think
Okay,
about his
fine.
own play.
Of
I
course.
think it was a bit of a
I don't know if
dicey
I've got
spot
50.
versus Robert in particular.
one
Who's
thing I
a little
appreciate,
tighter.
yeah,
Someone said 50.
yeah, I think Chris gave him credit for having a number of 3-bet bluffs, and that's very fair. One thing I
I was not
appreciate
gonna
about
do
Chris, though, is he is
I know it.
a harsh self-critic.
That's why he's so good.
Yeah. You do prefer to have something with an ace in it when you're 4-bet bluffing here. You have additional equity when called. And also, it's a nice blocker. Ooh.
No sweat at all. Queen 10-5 rainbow.
Well, it wouldn't matter what you had here. Robert
I'll do well
has
to lose
flopped
this
his
one.
nuts.
No hand, no hand.
See, not even excited.
And then Robert locks that one up. He's going to double up to have about 49 million.
What is this final table, Jamie?
Crazy.
Oh.
No, and Mormon waits to get
Oh, he's
there for
coming.
later.
Oh, he's coming 6.
23-6.
23,600,000.
By the way, that is the $4th million score for Chris Moorman.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think he gets like a 6-figure score? He's like, whatever, add to the pile.
Probably. That's a stat that is almost exclusively used for players who play super high rollers.
100K buy-ins,
Yeah.
like $1 million buy-ins.
When you're playing 10Ks and lower, you just don't have that many $1 million scores. could name 2 people off the top of my head that I think have that many $1 million scores or more and don't play the super high rollers.
Who you got?
I know Chino has 5 or 6 of them.
Mm.
And then I want to guess Vanessa, but I'm not even sure. She has a lot of very close to $1 million scores.
Blind versus blind, 10-6-3, a pair for each player.
Now, I know this isn't an all-in pot pre-flop, but this is a pretty action-y flop as far as things go.
Action turn card as well. 8 of clubs hits, giving Scott a gut shot to go with his now 3rd pair.
I think we need to check this dealer for steroids. She's on the juice.
Some peds going on. Yeah.
She's got something happening. Her dealing skills are off the charts.
Warren bets 3.4 million. Can't imagine Scott is going to release the decent hand and a gut shot.
Yeah, it's awkward. You may not expect your opponent to barrel that often without a better hand than you or a very strong draw, but you've just picked up too much equity to not continue. And look at this.
Whoa. It's a 4-liner now. Hard to get value, but 2 pair for Scott. Do you think Scott blocks this?
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh,
thinking.
yeah.
This seems
Yeah.
nice. Just a small lead.
3.2 or 4.2, excuse me.
That's not that small. That's what, 40% almost? A little less?
Yep. Yeah, I was expecting a little 2 million feeler bet.
Yeah.
but
Really nice awareness of what's going on leading out here. Knowing that Chris is just going to check back all of the hands that you're beating. A little smaller would have been nice because then Chris just feels obligated to flick it in, getting such a good price. But I think Scott
this one
feels that.
looks a tiny bit bluffier, though.
Yeah.
Do
I
you
don't know.
think
Maybe
he-
Scott wants to find more bluffs here. Maybe he thinks he still has some 8s, some
Missed
6s.
clubs.
Yeah, or not some 8s, but like some 6s that didn't have a gut shot to go with them. Yeah, clubs. 6. Like something like king 6 of clubs, maybe. You'd prefer to have, I guess, lower clubs, so Chris can have all the king queen of club type of hands himself. So like 6-4 of clubs would be a nice one to bluff with. 6-5 of clubs. 3-4 of clubs. You're getting a little in the weeds here, Jamie, but
It's funny, the longer a player tanks, we just start naming every single hand they could possibly have. And it reminds me of like coconut shrimp, fried shrimp.
it even rains sideways. Oh.
Nice fold from Mormon.
Well done. The consummate pro who only puts in money when he's ahead.
For most Americans, their memory of online poker is stuck in the past. A desert filled with unsafe options or no option at all. Well, not anymore. Club WPT Gold is bringing poker back to America. It's a sweepstakes model website sweeping the nation, and it's available to try out now. Sign up now using code YouTube and enjoy the return of safe online poker to America.
Down or what?
Yeah, I'm down.
That was a really strong check raise by Edward. I feel like on the ace-high boards, the
1.6
person who called from the big blind under check raise bluffs far too often. So for him to find one like that, really, really nice stuff.
Chris Mormon,
Oh.
pocket queens, and the cutoff raises it up. Edward packing the small blind pocket 10s. It's going to be trouble.
This could be the turnaround that Chris needs. It's been very downhill so far, but
5 million.
3-rating to 5 million.
oh, and Scott Stewart, this is not an insignificant holding. He could very well decide to take the spot in 4-bet.
Something to think about for sure. I think Mormon's opening very light, but does lay it down. Not worth the risk.
What a beautiful situation for Chris here.
Do you consider just flatting your in position?
I think the way that these situations play when the chip leader 3-bets you is you generally want to play a large 4-bet or fold strategy for the most part. So I would think a hand like queens would just fit into that 4-bet range quite nicely. The chip leader specifically is very incentivized to put as much pressure on as possible, so he should have more bluffs than another player would have, so you want to respond with a lot of 4-bets. Also, just the way that it plays out with this ICM factor, you're more incentivized to take down the pot now with the small 4-bet, and sizes get smaller, so you have a better risk to reward ratio.
9.1. He finds a non-all-in 4-bet sizing.
Yeah, and these really small sizings are something we become more familiar with at final tables. Is the overall population of poker players have gotten better at the game.
9.1, right? Call?
Call. Edward makes the call. We're going to a flop in a very bloated pot. Two very real hands.
Call is interesting because this is the sort of hand that is quite vulnerable. And tough to navigate out of position on a lot of boards.
Check.
Jack, Jack, 7, 2 diamonds. Queen's still ahead, but this board doesn't look too terrible for pocket tens.
No. I was about to say calling might save Edward, but we'll see.
Gotta say, if Scott did decide pre-flop to get a little spicy, ace-jack.
Oh, wow, you're right.
Doubt he would have unloaded the clip, though. They're very deep.
Well, the problem would be I think Chris would have just shoved regardless with pocket queens.
Oh, wow.
Well, that'll do it.
Mormon bets 4 million. Edward all in with his pocket tens. Chris
Oh,
makes the
man.
call.
Queens. 10 versus queens.
I mean, Chris could be right back in the driver's seat. This has to be the craziest start to a final table
This
I've
is
ever seen in
insane.
my life.
Edward's going to need to catch a 10 to knock out Chris Mormon in the same place he finished in last year.
Well, that's sick to think about. He's got the diamond covered as well. This
10
is,
one time?
This is a dream right here, this scenario.
I haven't used my one time in the entire tournament, so I think right now would be a good time to use it, maybe.
You get one every tournament?
I think so.
No one told
per
me.
tournament. Let's use it right now. 10 of clubs. Hello.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God. I thought he was joking.
No
It's
way.
not over, it's not over, it's not over, it's not over.
Come on.
Sickening feeling for Mormon. He's down to just 2 queens and 2 jacks if he wants to stay alive in this tournament.
He's going to have to final table next year.
Oh man, how do you have a sense of humor at a time like this?
I mean, what a hero he is. Give Chris a jack for that comment. That was too good.
It's not. 3 of hearts falls, and Chris Mormon, 2 outed on the turn to finish in 4th place for the 2nd year in a row. Unbelievable.
I know it's a silly
All right, Hannah,
comparison,
you're not
Jamie,
leaving.
but I almost
Yeah,
have
no
to
worries.
think about Mark Newhouse. There's been a very talented mix. You know, last year we had some very clear-cut top-level players at the final table, and this year the names are a little less familiar, but the play has not deteriorated at all. We've seen some very strong players at this final table in the final 9, final 12, final 16.
Yeah, there wasn't really like a wild card crazy person or someone who's blinding out just trying to make pay jumps. Like, everybody has been in the mix. Everybody's been playing well.
Ira. It's actually around about 300 players.
Scott limps. Robert raises ace-6 offsuit, and Scott makes the call with jack-8.
Julie.
Queen jack-7, 2 spades. Scott flops middle pair. Robert, there's out 2.5 million. What do you do if you're Scott? Just call. See a turn?
Yeah, I think that you have to. Raising doesn't accomplish much. And certainly not folding, but there are some interesting runouts here.
Is that one of them?
That's certainly not an interesting runout. I was hoping for something like a spade. We might see something quite creative out of Robert. Ace is more like, oh yeah, now Robert gets to win. Oh, that could be cool.
Check.
Scott is very good at these river spots where he becomes aware that his hand is not only sort of closer to the bottom of his range, but very likely to not be good given the run out. And he does find some pretty sweet bluffs when that happens. He decides to just check here.
Robert's going to take that one down with his pair of aces.
So many of the hands that he calls with on the flop got there, in the sense that they're at least a higher pair, that something like Jack-8, very close to the bottom comparatively. Might start thinking about turning that into a bluff. It would need to be big, as you're trying to get top pair or better to fold.
Robert limping the king-7 of clubs from the small, and Edward, the big blind, queen-9 of clubs. We're going to see 3. King-6, 2 spades. Top pair for Robert. Checks it to Edward.
This is a nice check. Edward has a lot of 6s when he checks back. King-7, probably not super excited to try to get 3 streets, so becomes a really nice king to trap with.
If he throws out a bet now, he's going to get called.
And this is the exact reason why check is so nice. Look at this. His opponent just picks up second pair. Will be obligated to call the bet.
2.2 and a snap call.
If he had bet the flop, it would have just went bet, fold. I can't. Chat, you're too good.
I think, guys, you're so good that I'm going to have to cut Jesse off from the chat. I'm just going to take his phone and chuck it across the room.
Somebody said Cumberbatch.
Scott raising the button to 2.7. Edward in the big blind with queen 10 is going to make the call. King 4, 3, 2 diamonds.
Scott's still dominating, but he has dwindled quite a bit, which is not the direction you expect to go when you get to raise nearly every hand.
I think he lost about 17 million in that hand, the 6-5 of diamonds, where he made a flush against the boat.
Those turn bets add up very quickly, even the small ones. You've built a sizable pot, so even a third pot lead is starting to become a big bet.
3 of diamonds pairs the board. Edward with the queen high flush draw. Jack still good for Scott.
Edward with a nice one for a check raise. And that would be wildly uncomfortable for Scott. Oh, he just calls. Decides he has a little bit of showdown value, maybe.
He did look like he was pondering it. Whoa.
Oh,
my God. No
no.
way. Oh, no. So Jack of Diamonds, Scott now with the boat, and Edward with the Queen High Flush. 15 million in the pot.
By the way, Scott has shown...
11.5.
Oh, Edward just leads. Okay. I was going to say, this is the type of spot where I've seen Scott get greedy before, and it's gone well for him.
Sure.
Now he doesn't have to get greedy. He just
When
says
he
the words all in.
jams, does Edward ever find a fold? Can he ever?
I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable. Scott can have a lot of ace of diamonds type of hands in this node, I think. He also doesn't have 0 boats. Obviously, we see that he has a boat, but he has some very conceivable full houses. He did that awfully quickly, too. This is a spot where I wouldn't mind Scott using a time bank, because if you're going to bluff, you might want to think about it a little bit.
Call.
And a call. And
Wow.
oh, wow. What a sick river card.
Just like that, it's over for Edward. This is...
He was such a fun player to watch play. Just, it could have been his. There are so many hands that he got coolered back to back and came back even from that. Edward Pack, just bright poker future, it feels like. He's had a couple of sick years, but he's pretty new to the scene.
Yeah. I mean, he executed quite well across the last couple days.
The newest online poker site, Club WPT Gold, is available to try now. And coming soon, Club WPT Gold ambassadors will be hosting meetup games. Brad Owen, Rampage, Xuan Lu, and Wolfgame Poker will all be there. Sign up using any one of their codes, and you'll be able to play alongside them as you check out the newest poker site sweeping the nation. Join us coming soon for Club WPT Gold meetup games.
For the people in Las Vegas, where are you guys meeting these guys after they finish the tournament? There's a party somewhere. Oh, wow. Kings versus sixes. We are not very deep right now.
Scott raises kind of large.
Yeah, it goes a hair over min raise.
Does this incentivize Robert to call more because he interprets the bigger bet as a stronger hand? Or does he just...
All
I'm
in.
sorry.
Oh
We're
my
at 4K
gosh.
big blind. Wow.
All in and a call. Snap. This is for nearly all of it. If Scott can hold, Robert is left with about 2 big blinds.
The blinds just went up, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's so sick for Robert that this hand happens after the blinds go up. If they're 40 blinds deep, he might just call. I don't know. I'm not saying he should, but the way he's been playing, he might have called.
Such a reversal of fortunes over the last 30 minutes.
That was crazy.
Scott Stewart was down to about 30 million, pulls close to even, and then this cooler out of nowhere. Could read it in Robert's face. This is just not how he planned it out.
Need about tree fitting.
Flop is 10.
10, 5 deuce, 2 diamonds. Backdoor diamonds to go with Scott's kings.
That's a nice flop when you're sitting on kings. Wow, I can't believe all of a sudden this could just be basically it.
Jack.
No additional outs for Robert.
He's going to need to pull one of the 2 sixes in the deck to become the WPT World Champion.
Wow.
Queen, That's not going to do it. They're going to get an accurate chip count, but it looks like Robert's going to be left with less than 2 big blinds.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable.
That was a great one.
Scott jamming Jack 10. Robert in the big blind with 7-3 offsuit. Don't love it, but man, just a couple big blinds in your stack.
Yeah, he's posted the big blind ante, so now he's very short. 3.5 bigs.
Oh, delicious.
Not a lot of folds here, but this might be one of the few. The upside to folding is Scott posts a big blind ante next time, so you're risking 9.6 to win more than you would expect.
I'm live.
So he's going with it. He says, I'm live. He's got some hope.
All right.
31% to get back in this. But if Scott can hold, he is our newest WPT World
I
Champion.
guess you said that I'm just I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew right now. 13-6.
King Jack 5. It's looking really good for Scott. 97% now to be our newest WPT champion.
How sick would this comeback be by Scott?
It's an amazing comeback. Everything was coming up Robert for 90 minutes straight or so. It really looked like we had it on lock.
That's it.
That's
wow.
crazy how Scott Stewart does it.
Unbelievable.
Amazingly well played by Robert Sherwood.
Yeah, hey.
Funny.